right, guys, it looks like we're live. I even got a notification. Trying something a little different today. I'm trying to do, well, I am doing, I'm having the live stream on YouTube going as well as the StreamYard. And I'm also trying to use a little bit better lighting. If that's too scary, let me know. But by using my desktop, I can pretty much read the chat without having to squint and use my glasses. So I'm going to try that. Of course, when I get up and move around, I won't be able to go without glasses. Hey, Stephen. Hey, Brian. Let me see how this goes. Nope, the other way. Got a new sticker right there, Brian. Check it out. I think that's where it is. I can't really see that well. This color looks good on me. That's one of those much sought after Kaler's Aquatics t-shirts. Hey, Bill. Hey, Tiffany. PB Aquatics. Howdy. Hey, Sherry. Hey, George. Hey, Petro Man. Poeseeway. Poeseeway. I should have tried to practice pronouncing that. Welcome, and sorry I'm ignorant about how to pronounce your name. Well, I've done like just a basic overview the other day in a live stream when they first started hatching out. So I'm hoping that a couple of people will participate. Hey, Ronan. Hey, Joe. Hey, Amy. Getting an echo? Police is fine. Or pose. Is there an echo? Okay. I don't see how I could have an echo because I don't have the sound on the desktop. So I'm actually, the camera I'm using is from the phone. So, okay. Well, I hope it sounds better, Amy. If it doesn't, let us know. But yeah. Let me flip you guys over here just a second. Let's see what's going on. Okay, just want to make sure. Sorry for all the flipping and jumping and all that. Just want to make sure no one's waiting to come in. So it was you. Okay, good. Every now and then when I use the phone, and like if I'm on, well, Pam is primarily the panel, or the other live streamer that I go on, we'll get some feedback with mine, and it's just the position of the phone usually. So if I move it around, but I've got it actually on the whatever thing today, so I can carry it around later. Hey, Melvin, welcome. Steven says axolotls are very interesting little creatures. Nice seeing everyone here. They are very interesting little creatures, and I hadn't heard of them till probably 3 or 4 years ago. And my local fish store got some, and I got a couple of them, but I lost them, and I'm not sure why. Hey, Catfish Terry. But they also had some at the store that they lost, so I don't know if there could have been anything wrong with those axolotls. They didn't have any fungus or anything that I could see, but they grew for a while, as did theirs at the store, so I don't know what went on. Hey, King Tash Family Blogs, welcome. Hey, Diego. I say hi more than once. I'm sorry. I'm old. I can't remember. I want to make sure I get everybody. Is that light an improvement, or is it something we could do without? It looks a little bright to me, but whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. Hey, Bryce, welcome. Yeah, so I went ahead and got a couple more, which are the ones, actually, that's the male, the father of the ones that I've been doing videos about, and it's their second spawn. I first said it was the mom, but when I put my glasses on and looked at the picture, the thumbnail blown up, I could see that he had his little testicles or whatever there, so I had to edit the description under the thumbnail. So it is actually the father. But the guys that they're 4 days old now, I guess. There are a couple that still have not come out of the egg, and I'm kind of worried about them. But Teresa said she raises them and knows a lot more about them than I do. She said not to try to get them out of the egg, but I don't see any. Hey, Dylan. Hey, welcome. I'm glad you said hi, and that reminded me I was going to give Dylan a shout out of several people that I wanted to today, but Dylan was one of them. He is about probably less than 35 now from having 1K subscribers, and his channel is really growing fast. He's got awesome content. He's a really, really good guy. So much so, I think that I'm going to trust him with some of my some of Cobalt, the Jack Dempsey, her and Bo's fry that are getting really big. So I'm going to send him some of those next week. I hoped to do it this week, but it's going to be nicer for shipping next week. They would probably be all right this week, but I'm going to be sending those over. But yeah, check out Dylan's channel if you have not already. Most of us know pretty much the same people and follow the same people. And hey, Melvin. Hey, great to have you here. If one of the mods could put a link for his channel in here, that would be great. I could try to do it, but hey, Ian, no problem. Hey, nobody would have known it had you just not said anything. I've snuck in class a few times when the teacher was looking away and thought nobody ever missed me, but it doesn't matter. I'm glad you're here. So anyway, these guys are a little over a year now, and I actually have a second pair of axolotls. They're I guess they're leucistic. They're white, but they're not albinos, and they're coming along pretty fast. I got those from Ginger Graves several months ago. She, a friend of hers, a pharmacist friend, that ordered some eggs online and got them, and I guess they all hatched out, like 20 of them, or maybe more. I can't remember. So he was kind of desperate to, get some of the juveniles after they were past wigglers and hatchlings moved along. So she took quite a few of them, and I ended up getting 2 of them, and I think I brought, went over to Nashville and got them. I think I brought Shay, Mrs. Fish Fever, back a couple, I think, and so that helped out some. But she has more that she's going to be taken to one of our local fish stores there, so that's good. Thank you, Sandy. Appreciate that. But yeah, guys, take a minute and open that in another. If you right-click on it, you can open it in a different field and then go back to it later. Just come back to this screen, and it won't mess up your. That won't mess up you being in chat. So that's what I do, at least. That I don't have to go back in chat and look for it anymore. So anyway, the first spawn these guys had, I did not try to save them because I began to think, well, what would I do? And it was a lot larger than the spawn I have now. What would I do with 200 axolotls, So I thought about that, and I just let nature take its course. I let them hatch in the tank with the parents, and I would see some in there occasionally, but I'm sure they either starved or they ate them all, or both. So I've seen a couple, maybe 3 in the tank since I pulled the eggs out like a day before they started hatching, and I've got those out. When I've done water changes, I stir up the gravel. I found 3 of them, and the other day one was just sitting on a rock, and I got it out also. So that's where I'm at with these guys. I don't know if my white pair is male and female. If they are a pair, they're getting close to being able to be sexed. And they're pretty easy to sex. I can tell you that once you know what to look for. On the thumbnail, the picture of the one I posted, as I said, I thought it was the mother, but then when I saw the thumbnail here on the computer, the big screen, I realized that it was a male. And you can see their gonads, their testicles, whatever you want to call them, but just right behind his back legs and just at the base of his tail, where his tail starts. And they remind me of, like, you know, the little thin pencils we used to get way back in the day. Some of you might remember those rather than the number 2 pencils. It was cool to have those skinny pencils. They remind me of the little erasers off of those if you pull one of those erasers out. They're about that size. Or like a pellet of cichlid food. That's kind of the shape they are, like a little barrel. So they're very distinctive. So that's how you can tell. And the female was really, really full of eggs and heavy for quite a while. This is their second spawn, as I said, and so I think I'm going to separate them because I've been told by several people that they'll just continue to spawn over and over, and it will wear especially the female down. So it's kind of like resting mouth brooder fish. You know, they need a break, I guess. And what I may do is put them with the, if I have a pair in the white ones, I may put the 2 females together and the 2 males together and see how that goes. But, Stephen, what do you know about them? I was hoping to, hold on, I'm going to flip this upside down again. What I'm doing is trying to put the link in the chat without knowing what I'm doing. And also I can't see what I'm doing. Sorry. Talk among yourselves, as they say. God. Post a comment. How about that? There we go. So, if anybody would like to come up and talk a little bit and talk about axolotls or anything else, you know, we try to keep it kid friendly, but you know, I've got a mouth on me sometimes. It's just an old man mouth, so I don't mean to be vulgar or beyond PG. Let's see what's going on. I actually can see it at that distance just as well without my glasses, which is really nice. For those of you that you don't know, BTW has an awesome channel also, and he's been a great resource to me over the last few years for puffers, and not necessarily common puffers, but puffers that you don't see, like the dragon puffers, the humpbacks that I got 2 of. He raises those, he breeds them, he spawns them, so and regularly. So he's got an awesome channel, so check it out. He's got a fajaka, I believe it's a fajaka with discus. So like me, he likes to kind of bend the rules or push the envelope a little bit. Sometimes it bites me, but comes back to bite me. But the only thing about this is I can't tell if anybody's clicked the link without going back, and no one has. I don't see anybody waiting, so. And I had invited a couple of guests too, so they may not be here, and they may be here later, and whatever. we will just do our thing. I am going to show the wigglers, the axolotls in a little bit, and any tanks that you want to see. I don't have a whole lot new going on. I did a quick little live stream the other day, and I had the wigglers in that as an update, but also just showed basically a 55 with water and gravel and the lights and the hoods and the heater. That's all I've done on it so far. But hey, Larry, welcome. But that's going to be my primary rainbow tank, and I'm going to hopefully confiscate a couple of 40-gallon breeders for my puffers and another project to be determined. But glad Larry came in right then, because great time to go ahead and shout out the next channel I wanted to do so, and that's Larry D's Tanks and More. And Larry, just like Dylan, is coming up on 1,000 very quickly. Do you know what your count is today, Larry? I don't think I've watched a video of yours today, but he has an awesome channel. Those of you that are subscribed know he does all kinds of things, foods and hot sauce tastings, but he has an awesome fish room too. So lots of variety there. But yeah, he's getting really close. 964, so he was actually one behind Dylan. Yeah, Dylan was 965 when I watched a video that he put out earlier. It was actually a pretty cool store, fish store tour. So that's 2 of the 4 that I wanted to shout out. So we'll see if the others are in here in a bit. Uncle Bob says they are not here. Sand Creek Aquatics. Alright, guys. Anybody have any questions? Or thank you, Sandy. Sandy's right on it, let me tell you. Every mod that I have is awesome. Every one of them. Hi, I meant, what did you say, Joe? I'm trying to look around my camera. Oh, hi. Amy's about the last person that I would expect to be high. I'm being silly. Here to learn from the best. Well, they're not here yet. I'm waiting on them, George. I don't know very much at all about axolotls, other than what I've researched about them. Of course, the really cool thing about them is that they can regenerate limbs, their tail, even their gill tissue. And one of the issues with them that I'll be watching for as these guys continue to grow, I did not, Brian is Peplin, for those that don't know. I did not. Somebody I know did. I think Maria Z got some of those. So I was kind of waiting to see what she thought about them. They're gorgeous, though. I have a perfect place for them in one of our killifish tanks. Yes, Bob, there's a new baby orca in the southern residence. It's named J57. Ah, you know how old it is, Chewy? And did they just discover it, or did they see the birth? Or I didn't know about that. That's pretty cool. Chewy knows lots of cool stuff. But yeah, I know that about axolotls, and I know the history of them. I'm just kind of repeating what I researched and said the other day in my live stream, but that was, you know, they're from Mexico, and they were from 2 lakes there, and one of the lakes doesn't exist anymore. I don't know what the demise of that was. I didn't research that. I don't know if it was weather or if it was a dam, or I don't know what happened. But one of the lakes is completely gone. The other one still exists in a different form, and that's canals and ponds and so forth, and it's exactly underneath Mexico City. So it gets tons of pollution, as you can imagine. You know, it's real easy just to pour stuff out the window into the canal to use it as a sewer. And I had read that like 20 years ago, scientists, when they were researching these guys and studying them, collecting them, that there were so many of them. There were thousands of them. I mean, tens of thousands per square mile. But now they're lucky if they find like 20 of them, I believe is the number. So, and in some places they don't find them at all. So, oh, okay. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. Yeah. Yeah, I remember the mother that looked for it. Yes, looked after it. Yes. It was so sad. Those guys kind of remind me of elephants in a way. Whales do. Of course, they're mammals. They're just aquatic mammals, if there is such a thing, but seagoing mammals. So it's really sad. What else do I know about axolotls? Does anybody here know anything about them or keep them? I know George Aquaballs is wanting to keep them. I don't know if you have kept them before. Hey, darling. That's true, Joe. They are amphibians. And that brings up a really cool thing that I left out. Thanks for saying that and reminded me of that. Axolotls are amphibians, but they, on rare occasions, and I didn't know this until I was doing quite a bit of research the last few days. On a rare occasion, I don't know what the percentage is, but it's pretty rare. One of them will go ahead and morph into a terrestrial salamander. You know what happens is they are kind of suspended. Hey, Big J, welcome. They are kind of suspended in a metamorphosis. They're in eggs, like frog eggs, like other amphibian eggs, and like salamanders do lay in the water. Frogs lay eggs in the water, and then they hatch out. And they have the external gills, and as they become more terrestrial, those dry up and go away. But axolotls do not, except for the rare one that does. They stay in the water for their life, so they're really cool. Big J, right on time. That's the third channel that I wanted to shout out. And for those of you that don't follow Big J, that's another channel that I followed. Oh wow, almost since he started, if not since he started, and really been a good channel to follow. He does what we would all like to do, and that's work at a fish store. So he has access to all kinds of things that we might not, fish that come in or people that need to get rid of things. Also the ability to order things that we might not, and plus he gets to play with fish all day. As we know, that's not true. It's it's changing water and all that, but still he gets to be around fish all day. He's at work now, see. Thanks, Tim. That's one of those Taylor's Aquatic shirts. And I'll be honest, I haven't been impressed with this. This is the basic one, the cheapest one. And I already think the logo looks a little faded, but people like things faded. But I don't know. I washed it in cold water, and I washed it with, there's a big logo on the back, just like that, but all the way across the back. And it looks a little faded too, but maybe it'll stop fading. But I washed it with that on the inside. They say turn it inside out, and it's easier in the washing machine, so I don't know. Thank you, Sandy. Sandy got that up before I could even think about it. Hey, Roxanne, welcome. So, yeah, back to Big J's channel. He's coming up on 1K as well, and I think he's about, he was 903, and he let me know he was at 904 last night, but he may be up a little further than that. I would suspect he is. Do you know what it is now, Big J? J is Jared, by the way. There's a story behind that, but I won't tell what it is. He can tell it himself another time if he wants. His name is Jared. And since he's kind of a big guy, people call him Big J, so it fits. It's a good channel name, that's for sure. He may have gotten a customer, or he may be looking to see this, what's it say? The Recon shirts I ordered faded really bad. Were they the basic, Tim? I noticed the color changed too. It's not as blue. I mean, I don't mind them fading, but I wash everything in cold water, and I don't bleach anything except my whites. So Big J's 904. All right, so he's getting very close to 1,000 too. We were talking about Dylan. He was at 965 earlier, and Larry D's is at 964. So you're coming right in there with them. So guys, we're going to have a bunch of people that are going to be hitting 1K. So we'll probably be seeing some giveaways. We'll probably be seeing some celebrations, some live streams. So it's an awesome thing because it's a lot of work to get there. I can tell you, a lot of work. And everybody that subs to somebody and supports their channel really makes a huge difference, as you all know. It's pretty cool. Fish Snatcher, what's up, Kaylers? Hey, Fish Snatcher, welcome. Just sitting here having a ramble. Might get up and look at some axolotls in a few minutes and some other fish. Just seeing where we go. They're the basic shirts, but they came from Crazy Dog Custom Tees, not Teespring. Well, Teespring has a reputation for being kind of expensive. You can adjust that price somewhat. They'll let you bring the price down on each item, and so I did that. But I may go back and make this one so it's just what I have to, the basic. I think they're like $19 now, $19.99 or something. Of course, I paid for mine too. But I'm wanting to get a long sleeve T-shirt. Anthony literally hounded me for 6 months to get some merchandise, and so I started with the T-shirts. Hey Tim, Rounded Rob, Mr. Bob, you're sitting down. I am sitting down. I think I made a snide remark about I was going to stand up and do a stream like you do. I can't do an hour of that breakdancing and stuff you do, Rob. I can't do that. I will get up and walk in a little bit to show those axolotls and any other fish you guys want to see. I heard that, Melvin. I'm sorry to hear that. I've had a lot of loss recently. Rob 93. Sand Creek Aquatics 2. For you guys that don't know, I think everybody here follows Rob as well. Rob 93 comes on at 7, which is about 31 or 32 minutes, and totally opposite stream from this. He's very energetic, almost always has a guest on, and it's just real upbeat, a lot of energy, and I love it. After sitting here and relaxing for an hour, it's a nice pick me back up, you know. So this is kind of my siesta time, being in a live stream. So, but yeah, Rob has a really energetic stream, and so we all go over there and rate him when we get out of here. So if you haven't tried him, give him a try. You'll enjoy it. All right, let me see. I'm gonna flip you guys over again. I don't know any other way to do this except. Actually, I don't have to keep the camera in that position, do I? Or I guess I do. Oh my God. Sorry about that. So sorry. Yep, you're right. I Pammed it. It's actually Pam I'm looking for, and she is not there, so she may have gotten busy or wasn't sure of the time or whatever, but she's not there, so I didn't want to ignore her. She keeps axolotls. A lot of people don't know that, but I know, and I had an issue last stream too, Teresa. There's Teresa, though. I bet she can talk about axolotls some. I bet you she can. You want to come up on the stream, Teresa? Where you can talk rather than type? Or are you able to do that? She's given me some good advice, and I've been following it too. That starts the 11th, so she'll be leaving in a day or two. But I messaged her earlier and asked her if she could, and she said yes. And I sent her the link right after we went live, so she wouldn't have to get it out of the chat. But okay, well, I understand. I didn't want to blindside you, so that's why I said, can you do that? But maybe we can plan one sometime if you'd like to do that. It would be a great resource, and people are really interested in them. Well, they're not really a fish snatcher. They're an amphibian. It's a picture of one in my thumbnail, and I'm going to show, actually I can show their parents. They're over here, want me to put some food in their bowl. Right. Let's see, Teresa's dropping the knowledge right there. Hey Holly, welcome. But I'll show, when I start moving here in a couple of minutes, I'll show their parents in the tank beside me, and everybody wants to see the babies. I think this is day 4 for them. They've had a water change and some new food added, and they seem to be doing well. I'd like to see them a little fatter than they are, but I guess they're doing okay. You guys know that follow me from Mexico, and they're endangered in the wild now. I forgot to say that, but I implied it. They're endangered in the wild. They're extinct in one of the 2 lakes they were in there. Because the lake doesn't exist anymore. The other lake is under Mexico City, so lots of pollution, and it's really cut their numbers down. So, but they're really big in the fish hobby because they're so easy to keep. They like cold water. Mid-60s, I think, is about what people keep them in their homes. I keep mine about 68 or so. And that's with the fan blowing over them to help evaporate. Got to cook dinner. Thanks, Tim. Appreciate it. They're not an invasive species as far as I know. They're illegal in some states. I think they're illegal to have in California. I haven't researched that, but I've heard that. But I don't know that they're in the wild anywhere. This is not a video, Doug Gray. This is a live stream. There is a difference, you know. How can you raise your pH? Water change is how you want to get it up immediately. I've had that same problem with it coming out of the tap at 6, and I didn't know it. So I've been having to do some extreme things, like using some pH adjuster, some chemical, but you have to go slow with that because some fish are sensitive to it. I found out my large black tetras, African black tetras, that I keep in with the pacu, they're very sensitive to it. And I almost lost one, but I was able to drop the pH back down a little bit. But any kind of buffer, any way that you can buffer it, Darlene. I also got something called, there's pH adjuster, and it's like a salty substance. And that's what I used to use, but then my pH started coming out like at 7.4, and I didn't realize it had gone back down to 6. But you can also get something by API called pH Up, and it's basically just bicarb. So you could try putting a couple pinches of bicarb in there and rechecking it. Guys, give us some suggestions to raise pH, because there are lots and lots of experienced people here, knowledgeable people, much more so than I. So Tim's cooking and talking about his new car. I had a Buick Regal. I think it was a 17, yeah. And I loved it, but I couldn't sit in it after I had a hip surgery. It was awful to sit in that thing, especially to drive, you know. Hey, Joe, welcome. Joe Minnows, welcome. Doing great. Hope you're doing the same. But seriously, guy, Doug Gray, he's the guy that was always in the background that when you watch the Flintstones, he was that guy, like they would be working on a car or just walking by. He was like an extra on the Flintstones. So Doug's been around for a while. Doug is a very well-known and accomplished breeder of fish, particularly guppies. So that's a channel that I will call out, because if you're into live bears, and Doug also has axolotls too, and he has some good axolotl videos. I just remembered that. He's bred them successfully and raised them. So Doug Gray, D. Gray, he does have some axolotls, so that would be a great one to follow and watch some really good videos, some in-depth videos about them. You were in a lot of the Three Stooges. I didn't know that. See, he's quite the accomplished fellow. He's got a red Z car too, but he doesn't want all the ladies to know that. They're pretty cool. Dylan, sorry, they're pretty cool. There's the crushed coral. You can get it at most fish stores. Definitely one that has saltwater fish, Darlene. So, and it's very inexpensive too. It's usually cheaper than the price of sand, like aquarium sand, which is expensive. So, you got 7 of them. You must have got rid of some. Yep. Dylan told the truth. I'm glad you guys are jumping in there, because you know I don't know anything. Yeah, Big Al's has it. I think I actually got what I've got put in my last breeder rack was from Petco. I think. Yeah, it's Petco that has saltwater fish, marine fish, not PetSmart. And there's Doug Gray. Thank you, Sandy. There's Doug Gray's channel, so check him out. He's got some good videos about axolotls. I'll have to give that to him. He does. What I usually do with it, Dylan, I'm so lazy, is I just pour it in a little mound of it in one end of the 10-gallon breeder tanks, and it'll spread out pretty quick. And I have some gravel in there, like 1 layer of gravel anyway, so it's not rocket science, and it's not anything you need to make difficult. It will gradually bring it down, Darlene, but I would go ahead and do something chemically. Maybe get you some pH buffer or some pH up, and you're going to spend about $10 for either one of those, and mix some water. Hang on back works awesome, and it gets lots more flow through it. It's awesome. Lots of ways to do something and get the same result. So, but yeah, I might go ahead and do like a 50% water change and put some treated water in there with maybe like a pH of 7. You said it was 6.2. Maybe you can get it up to 6.4, 6.6. No, it's not. It is not fun chasing it. But till you can get your crushed coral in there, that might give you some relief. I know I lost my shellies um, because I didn't know my water had gone back down to 6 coming out of the tap. And I thought it was still at 7.4, and I just hadn't checked it in a while, so fatal mistake for them. They did great for 2 weeks, I guess, and then all of a sudden they were all dead the next morning. And that was after, it is the best way. They were all dead after a water change, and I didn't connect that at first, and I started checking my water parameters. I lost a couple of other fish for no reason, no apparent reason, and my other parameters were fine, but my pH was coming down, of course, in the tanks I was checking. So, yeah, I did lose them, Doug. It was after a water change, and I didn't do a very big one on them, but evidently it was enough to tip them, just enough. And who knows, it may have been lower than 6.0, who knows, when I did the change that day. So what I'm doing now, I'm actually doing, and I would not recommend it, especially for someone that hasn't kept fish a long time and doesn't want to go through all that. But what I've been using is the pH buffer, which buffers the water to 7 in my water that I'm adding back to the tanks. Mix it up with some tank water from each tank, so you have lots of cups sitting around. But mix it up with some water from the tanks, and it does the chlorine and chlorine, does all the chemicals that are added that would hurt the fish, plus it buffers the water, and it's like a level teaspoon for 10 or 20 to 40 gallons. So it doesn't take a whole lot of it. Seacom makes the pH buffer that I'm talking about, and then API makes the pH up, because I checked out all the products recently, and that's the two that I settled on. But now I'm not using those together, just using one or the other. In fact, I haven't used the pH up before because I've never used that. Lost 2 colonies of plecos. Yeah, well, it probably was the water if it was right after the water change. So there you go. All right, guys, do y'all want to see some wigglers? We've only got a little over 15 minutes, and then maybe a couple other tanks. But yeah, that's how I'm doing until I can figure out what's going on with my water. And I did call the water company and talk with someone that was no help, except she took a message. So I'm really wanting to find out, because I use a lot of water here. A lot of water. Okay, guys, I'm going to get up and get on the move here. And first of all, let me flip this around. Jesus. Scary. What I'm doing is turning the camera around so you guys don't have to look at me anymore today. So thank you for your patience. Fish Snatcher may or may not still be here, but that is one of the parents, and I think it's still the dad, because he was over there a couple hours ago. They do come over and eat out of the bowl when I put food in it. Yeah, that was Dad, and Mom's over here probably napping. Go ahead and, turn this light off, because that light usually sits on that bowl there. And axolotls don't like a lot of bright light, for sure. I've got a very dim LED small lamp on the top here, just to grow some moss and stuff, which they don't have to have, but they have 3 different caves they can go in there, and they do. They go in and out of them, and sometimes squeeze in one together. So they like to get out of the light, and they don't like bright lights. Some people keep them with no extra light at all, just ambient light from the room. And by the way, I can't see the chat right now. So it's the sticker I was talking about. I got a new sticker a few weeks ago, and I have not sent one back, but I do have your address to do it. It's Peppermint Creek. And these are just PetSmart Australian rainbows. And they're probably about 5 or 6 months old now from when I bought them at the store. And you can see that they're quite stunning, but people say the Australians don't get pretty, so I don't get it. I don't know if they just don't get big enough or they just don't want to give them a try, but they're actually a very gorgeous rainbow. They're common, but you know, so are a lot of fish that are beautiful. So, nothing new going on with these guys here. That's the blue steel epistos. Those babies are big enough now that they've scattered, which is usually what happens. I don't see one of the little bitty ones, one of the newest ones, but they're all throughout there. And this is the tank that I lost. I'm headed toward the big tanks. This is the tank that I lost everything in except that Chinese or China highway catfish. I don't know any Latin names. I just don't. Sorry. But I got that from Dan's, and they're supposed to be pretty rare. I know they're expensive, but the only thing in here is 2 of those. I had 3, and there are 2 in here that I can find. But all of those swordtails I had in here, all those mollies, the upside down catfish, everything in this tank died. And I don't know what happened. I didn't know about the pH then, but my pH was testing like 7 in the tank, so no idea. But I'm hoping to put goldfish in here. I just kind of was letting the tank sit cycled with those 2 catfish in it, and I want to move my little goldfish in here that I got for summer tubbing and decided I didn't want to put them out there. So they'll be glad to. Been working on stuff like I usually am, so just going to show you. There's the little goldies down on the bottom. Cats asleep everywhere. They're on the bottom on the left. Alrighty. Axolotls. Let me get over here. I'm still using a little bit of aeration on them, but you'll see when I add new food. I wondered about that, Doug Gray, because no matter what I did, but it was just that tank. And those are tub fish that I grew out year before last. And I had tons and tons of them. Hey, Brad. I got the chat back up where I can see it now finally. But these guys are sitting here in a dim light. Those are the plants that their eggs were on, or that they were on as eggs. And they're growing. They're definitely getting bigger. Some of them are outgrowing the others, which is common. Hey, Amber. Glad you did. Thanks, Amber. I appreciate you. Love you. Thank you for stopping in. Appreciate it. 11 inches long. Well, now their parents aren't that big, Doug. Their parents are maybe 8 or 9. So... yeah, I'll do the little wrap. I'm kind of getting so I hate to do that, so I only do it like to check for dead ones in the mornings and to show you guys. So I'm going to tap on the counter that they're sitting on. And by the way, they're not in a light. They're sitting by my little play coral tank, saltwater tank. So here we go. I want to see them move. There I think they all move. Try to pick out a couple, and they all move every time. There are still two that are inside eggs, but Teresa said not to open them up. I was thinking about doing that, but she said don't do it. These guys down here actually have their light on a timer, so they get some time off during the days, but these are the white ones. There's a male, I hope a male and a female in there. There's one back there, you can barely see its tail. These guys definitely are not blind. Some people say they're blind. None of the research that I read said that, but they definitely can see me. And you see he got right up there when he saw me. And they will take food out of my hand. They'll come up and get it. These will. The others, I never. Well, the others probably would too. They'll come up and get floating food. So they're pretty cool. These are about 5.5, 6 inches. All right. What's our time doing? I don't want to run over Rob's, and I want to be sure and do a hashtag. Oh, yeah, somebody wanted to see the 180. That's where I was going. I actually finally started to do like a scape on it. The glare in here's horrendous. That one on the far side isn't look okay. Which one, Teresa? You're talking about the white ones? Or one of the little hatchlings? But anyway, yeah, I officially started to throw this stuff into some kind of pattern or some kind of 9 minutes. Thank you, Sandy. Thanks, Kenny. Hey, and welcome, Kenny. I didn't see you there. Sorry if I missed you. But yeah, I'm still working on it. I've still got to work with that corner down there a little bit. And another thing I was going to share with you guys, since I'm here, some of my juvenile thread fins, that one there is really getting nice. But you know, I had a male that I had gotten to go with my female that I lost several months ago, and I was thinking that I lost her, and it may be because of the tank she was in burst, and I had to get her in another tank real quick, as most of these fish, the same scenario. But the male that I had got to mate with her was about this size, I guess, when she passed, and continued to get bigger, like twice this size. And guess who I found dead this morning? That fish. So I don't know. I'm beginning to wonder if they're just really, really hard to keep once they get a certain size, but that wouldn't make any sense as long as see some of these sevrums, that gold sevrum there is way bigger than my hand. I mean, some of these fish are going to be 10, 11 inches. This one here is a lot bigger than my hand also. So I don't know. But yeah, I was trying to make them some places to hide out, and since I've gotten more catfish, I've still got the 2 Synodontis that I can never remember the names of, but you guys know them and usually put them in the comments. Still got those, and I've still got the 3 pygmy giraffe face or giraffe lip. I don't know, pygmy giraffe face or giraffe lip. They're like the one Corey had in his 800, except they're the pygmy versions, but they look just like that. So yeah, it turned out okay. That stump I'm still not completely satisfied with, but I just got tired of working with it, and it kind of looked okay like that. But yeah, this corner over there, I've got to do something with that. I've also gonna add another wave maker, but I'm gonna put it on this end so that it helps the water turn the corner and flow back. So let's see what, I wanted to see what Teresa said, which one didn't look good. Hatching, but I think it still hasn't hatched yet. Ooh, let me go back. Well, I'll go back and look at it. It was on the right side. Okay, I'll go back and look at it. Because nobody, when I did the water change and all that, about noontime here, so like 6 hours ago, but you know, they can get fuzzy quick. I didn't see anything that it could have been under a leaf or something, and I didn't see it. So I'll go back. Thanks for letting me know. I make sure that I gently stir that water too, and I've taken out any plants that turn brown and that kind of stuff. So, you know, kind of just leaving them alone, but making sure that their water is really super clean. And I was doing water changes twice a day. I'm just doing them once a day now. And if they continue to grow, there's the 2 Cenodonis. I'll be sorting them out, separating them out. Probably the bigger ones pulled out to another one so that they don't predate on the smaller ones. And that's nature, you know, that's probably why that happens. All right, guys. Probably got about 5 minutes. Yeah, there are 2 that haven't hatched. Well, so you never burst them out of there, Doug? I'm not sure how I would do it, but, you know, they'll starve. I always appreciate good advice and constructive criticism. Always eager to learn, especially something I have no experience with. I always appreciate it. That's the 55 over there, guys. It's the aquarium maze in here. But actually, I have a rhyme to the reason, or a reason to the whatever. But yeah, I'm planning to be able to sit in front of that fireplace there and enjoy most of the tanks from there. So that's my plan. But yeah, that's the rainbow tank over there. I just got to go ahead and keep working. Hey, McAm. Female black mamba. Black samurai won't work according to Dragon Lair. I definitely don't know the answer to that. I know some basic genetics, especially with live bears, guppies, but Jeffrey Cunningham, how many tanks are you up to now? Well, I used to be able to do it a year ago. I could do them all in one day. Sandy, right now, what I really like and what I put on that new tank is that Aqueon, their upper level, because I got that for my coral tank. That one sitting on the counter there. I got it for that, and Anthony liked it, and he has that on his new tank. But that's what I have. I have 2 of them on top of this tank, and it's the Aqueon OptiBright, and it grows coral. It's dirty and all disorganized, but I live by myself, McCam, so it's fine. But yeah, sorry. But yeah, that's what that is. And you can, with the reflection, you can see it's got the different color lights. But yeah, that's what I use. And it's also what I put on the new rainbow tank. So I just really like it. It's Aqueon and it's the OptiBright. And there's an OptiBright Plus that costs like $20 more, but it's the remote. This guy has just the buttons there, the touch buttons. So I'll save the $20. Plus, I went online and found it on Petco.com, and they price matched it, of course. All right, guys. Is Peter here? Hey, Peter. Welcome. No problem. Glad you could make it. Doug's been behaving, so not a whole lot of that foolishness going on. So yeah, I actually cleaned the glass on the inside of this finally. These rainbows will probably go in that 55. Colette, we are about to stop and go over to Rob 93. There he is, just went live. So what's our hashtag, guys? Let's do a raid on him. Axolotl's too long. Oh, thank you for coming, Joe. Appreciate it. Nobody wants to do a hashtag. Kenny, what hashtag? Oh, thanks, Stephen. I just ramble. I really like people to participate in the chat. So here's the new little gold, blue Japanese guppies. Female's definitely pregnant. Codfather, well, that works for me. All right, I see you guys over there. So we're going to do a raid on Rob 93. Do we have a link? Bob Forever. Thank you, Colette. Bob's already been forever. Bob Forever. All right. Bob Forever then. I'm older than the catacombs already. Axel. Let's do ends. Let's do Axel since that was what we were supposed to be talking about. So hashtag Axel. Like it. All right, guys. I appreciate y'all. See you over at Rob 93 in a moment. Bye-bye.